but identifying what are the things that determine the existence of this group. Like, at the end of the day, you need everybody to agree that we're going to take this group forward in this way for this reason, and people who don't agree with that need to maybe have another group. But, you know, and so it's like, but in terms of who's going to lead it and like dealing with like authority in that way, like, I don't know, I mean, often it's who people follow. Like, people lead because people follow them. And so people who get up and lead, some people lead and they walk alone. Some people lead and people follow them. I mean, I would say that the vast majority of this community would follow Angie Byron off a cliff. But, you know, but I mean, like, but, yeah, I mean, Angie leads and people follow her. You know, there are other people who might try to lead, and it's like, you know. So, I mean, at the end of the day, in terms of leadership of a group, for me, it depends on who follows them. But I understand, so it's less leadership per se as it is splintering and forking when you have a small community and you don't have a lot of resources, and your resources are getting splintered because you have different leaders and people are following different leaders. And that's just, that becomes, I think it's more of a resource problem. But I don't actually have any answers, and like I said, that's just a hard one, I think, for all human beings. Yeah, Jack. No?
Hear me?
Oh, there it is.
There we go. So I think a lot about community and Drupal stuff and obsess about it a little bit in all communities I belong to. And one thing that I noticed that doesn't really get discussed here, and even in this session didn't really get touched on, are the things that affect communities in our larger society and also affect Drupal. You mentioned like women in Drupal being one of them, but the isms like racism, classism, sexism, all these things.
Absolutely.
It's spoken about so little, I feel like, in general. It tends to be spoken about in BOFs and maybe not in larger conversations. Why do you think that happens in Drupal, and what do you think we can do about that to shift that? Or do you think it's necessary?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm conflicted on that, personally. And I mean, I'm just doing personal opinion. I've got nothing to say in particular about it. People can listen to me or not. But I think part of it is that isms are icky, right? Like, they're just icky. Nobody wants to deal with isms and actually address them, especially when it would be a lot more fun to go hack on some code for a while. So, I mean, I think that's sort of generally true. I think in larger culture and society, we don't deal with isms much either. We tend to brush them under the carpet, or, you know, pay a little lip service and say we're taking care of it, and then we go about our lives. You know, generally as a culture. So I don't think that it's even particular to this community that we don't want to deal with them. How to deal with them? I don't really have an answer for that, and I'm personally conflicted about how much to focus on it versus not focus on it. Like, it needs to be addressed, but there's a lot of other things that need to be addressed. So it's like, how do you balance that? I don't have good answers for that at all. And I have to say, like, generally, like, personally, I've stepped way back from a lot of the ism fights. I used to be involved in a lot more of that stuff back in the day, and I've just stepped back from it because I'm actually conflicted and not sure of what statement I want to make and how I want to proceed. I don't have an answer for it personally. So, but yeah, I would say dealing with icky things is hard. People would rather fight about, you know, code and other, you know, what is the architecture of Drupal 8? There's something more manageable and less personal about it. All right, I think we have people coming in for the next session, and so I think they want us to leave now. But thanks a lot, everybody.